Just the other day I was mentioning that there is one thing which, when one understands and is ready to put into practice, can bring about a very liberating, fulfilling development in one's life. It is connected also with how one is looking at life. The mystery of this existence, one cannot fix it into some knowledge. But yet in human life, we use knowledge and if we use it carefully, if we use it wakefully, we can allow it to become a help to get clear, to be fulfilled, and to make life more beautiful, more harmonious, and help one to discover the true significance of life. So this is, in a way, something of a playful but deeply significant way of being with one's day-to-day life process. In German there is some kind of a game which is called Mensch, ärgere dich nicht. Translated, it is something like, man, don't get upset. In the game it is going in a different way. It is a game which many people play at home with children and maybe also among adults. But the very sense of it is a good orientation, because that's what makes a human being capable to live the humanness when we are not trapped and going blindly and unconsciously with our energy, with our emotions, with our reactions. So in this sense, one can look at life also as a play of energy. It is one of the possible perspectives to bring a little understanding, insight, and that which can help to disentangle oneself from all kind of inner traps. And this is what I have been mentioning, that if one would take this one orientation to the practice, one takes it to heart, one really allows it to become a possibility to be practiced, then it will bring about the important development in human life. which is making a human being truly fulfilled. And that is when we see that life is providing us in different ways with energy. Each moment there is fresh inflow of energy taking place in different forms, in different ways, at different levels. Now, we have the possibility as a human being not to be lost in the reactions which entangle us in negative states. When you see and understand that in a state of negativity, whether it is anger or bitterness or disappointment or sadness, hatefulness, revengefulness, in all these states we are in a state of inner cloudiness, inner fog. Our vision is not clear, our perspective is very limited. So when one can understand this and see that it is the chance of our life, when we don't settle with that whenever we notice our energy is getting pulled into a negative state, without trying to justify it, without trying to go blindly with it, and also not only suppressing it, to go about it in such a way that it becomes a clearance for the energy from being trapped in these patterns of reaction, which is becoming a negative settlement. That is what is challenging. That is exactly what can enable us to again and again be unburdened and act out of clarity, act out of freedom. And through that, help the energy to move towards a creative, intelligent, and loving way of answering to the situations, to the challenges, to the needs of the life. So one can say that we have as a human being the possibility to observe this automatism in us, which very often pulls the energy into negative states, into darkness. And through observing it, being with it, staying with it wakefully, not trying to find explanations, not trying to fight against it, not in any way interfering directly with it, but just being with it, observing it, observing all what is undercurrently going on, being in touch with whatever is taking place on a subtle level inside. All the desires, all the fears, all the ideals, all the clinging, all the image, all what is in different ways undercurrently at work. The pride, the prejudices, whatever is there. When I say like this, I'm helping you to bring the attention in a more deeper way. But you don't need to label it. You don't need to try to make a knowledge out of it. What is important is that you stay with it wakefully, like a mirror which is mirroring everything which is coming in front of us, front of it. So with this quality to stay with it so that the energy is not automatically getting trapped and settled and blocked into a dark and unconscious level, but through the conscious, non-interfering way of being present to it, allow it to again be disentangled, prevent it from getting into a settlement. And through that, indirectly allow the energy to move towards clarity, move towards light, move towards creative manifestation. This is what, when you would really wholeheartedly, deliberately bring into practice, which will transform the life to a very positive, very joyous, very liberating and deeply valuable development of our life. So, man, don't get upset. Mensch ärgere dich nicht. This is how you can call this for a playful remembrance. So at least 7 times a day in human connections, wherever it is coming, that you find yourself getting pulled into negative states. The moment you notice it, start being present to it in such a way so that you come to realize that you have the chance as a human being, you have the capacity, and this is in exercising this capacity that we become truly human, truly free, and be capable to use the capacity of intelligence and creative potential in the right way. So let this be the first reminder that in every occasion, in human connections where there is any kind of negativity arising in you, where you get pulled into it, the moment you notice it, begin to bring the attention in such a way that you stay with it as wakefully and as long as it is necessary, so that the energy which is otherwise getting trapped and settled in a negative state can become free and allow it to become a movement towards a creative response to the situation, a movement towards light. So this is the first reminder for this session. And the second one is very much supportive to this first one and also connected with the process. which can be complementarily supportive. And it has to do with identification. Whenever we are identified with our personality, with the inner automatism, we are caught in the game of the duality. We are easily getting overtaken by our roles and the personality and the identity which we have acquired during this life process. And the whole possibility, the art, the chance in human life is to be with the game of the life, with the roles one plays, and yet not be lost in it. It is a bit like when someone is playing a role in the theatre. The actor has to go into the role so intensely, so deeply, and a very good actor is one who manifests the role as if it is also real, as if he is that role. And yet, a good actor is aware of it, that he is not this role. And he has to play the role in a careful way, knowing how far to go, in which way to proceed further with the whole role. So the actor is not identified blindly with the role he or she is playing. And that is what makes also the acting profession something of a chance to go deeper into a state of consciousness, where one can see that we are in different roles, we go into different personalities, but deep within you are neither this nor that, and deep within the reality is something more deep, more significant, more valuable, more mysterious. So to get familiar with the deeper dimension of our reality, this is a very beautiful step. That is why it is for those who understand the need and has become seekers of truth, have determined to go about life in a careful way, in a wakeful way, in a responsible way. For them, this will be a very valuable chance to not to go blindly into the identifications. So, in practice, every hour when the clock is ringing, the full hour, or in the computer you get the indication that it is now a full hour, or in your cellular you can arrange it like that, that you get reminded. For the next period after the full hour, when you have been reminded like that, go about life as if you are on the stage. as if you are the actor playing this role. Don't blindly identify. Watch your identification. Watch that what you are in this moment manifesting. And in this way, get disentangled from the blind and unconscious identification. And it is a certain playful way of continuing to be with this remembrance for a while, because you will notice that very easily we are forgetting. One moment we remember and next moment it's almost forgotten. So you have to remember to have a little laughter, a smile. The best is when you can consciously and a little bit theatrically also allow a laughter. It is said that laughter is the best medicine. At least in this case, when you apply it in this way, you will find that it can be really valuable, because it is taking away the unconsciously burdening aspect of seriousness and enabling us again to come to the present. So when you can laugh about your forgetfulness, so it is not making a fight out of the whole thing. It is not becoming some kind of thing to prove to anybody. It is a playful, gentle way of allowing the remembrance. So approach it with this playfulness and allow this theatrical performance-like manifestation at least each time for about 10 minutes. So even if you cannot make it for the whole full hour period of the day, at least 7 times during the day, bring this remembrance and allow it to become a help. In the East there is a saying, this life is a Leela, a cosmic play. There is something very valuable in this way of putting it, because when you are ready to approach it with a quality of playfulness and not making it into a blind, struggling, serious approach, then you can see that actually there is a certain element of playfulness in the whole life process. It is not a philosophical statement to settle with and to make it into a belief, but it is an indication for those who want to understand life, those who want to go deeper, to orient to. So this reminder to make every hour this theatrical way of being with oneself, being like an actor who is playing the role, but inwardly is staying without identification, without blindly holding to this role. Outwardly it is a certain identity you are manifesting, but yet deep within you are not unconsciously and automatically settled in it. This will be very supportive, and together with these 2 reminders can be very deeply valuable. So practice it for the next 3 weeks and allow it to be a support for you, allow it to be a playful, joyous way of celebrating life, discovering life, understanding life, and a way to really be using the intelligence, using the mind, rather than being a slave of the mind. This is having very deep implication when you carefully allow it to become a support for you. So these are the two reminders for this